for an hour with me. We got JCS. Newlyweds tell on each other, chat. JCS is back. Oh my gosh, chat, lock in. Lock in. Newlyweds tell on each other.
Behold, the sacred union that unites two souls into a lifelong journey. On the 2nd of December of 2017, Amelia and Joshua got married. They danced through the night to their favorite love songs, which consisted primarily of Ed Sheeran, then continued the celebration in their luxury hotel room that was overlooking the river. They moved to Florida, bought a house, and absolutely loved it. Except the only issue was that it didn't have a nice enough kitchen, so they decided to commit first-degree fraud. You see, both Amelia and Joshua worked at the bank. Josh was a loan recovery officer, the person from the bank that calls you up to politely threaten you about your overdue payments. Amelia was a bank teller, meaning she took care of regular transactions, such as depositing checks or withdrawing money for her customers. And one of these customers was an elderly man called Gerald Stack. Gerald had informed Amelia that he had sustained a traumatic brain injury and therefore was easily confused and forgetful. So Amelia initially began helping him out, even with things outside of her job, such as bringing him groceries or managing errands. But then her husband found out and came up with the idea to steal $50,000 from her client's bank account, hoping he wouldn't notice, asserting that the money would go towards buying a new kitchen. Amelia then proceeded with the plan by writing herself 2 checks from Gerald's account for $25,000 each. And then...
Bro, imagine this being your grandpa, bro. Bro, I would. Oh my gosh.
As expected,
bro,
Gerald didn't notice. So they began enjoying life being 50 grand richer, assuming their plan had actually come to fruition. But exactly 15 weeks later, Amelia's phone rang. On the other end was Gerald's 52-year-old daughter, Cynthia, asking for a transaction history on her father's bank account and why there was $50,000 missing. Amelia's response was that she couldn't give out too much information because Cynthia wasn't the account holder, but she assured her she would look into it thoroughly and get back to her. Cynthia would then leave multiple missed calls on Amelia's phone over the next 3 days, but on day 4, the calls stopped coming in. On July 18, 2018, Cynthia and her 23-year-old son, Sean, were found shot to death in their apartment. Forensics went through Cynthia's call history and very quickly uncovered the situation with Amelia and the stolen money. They already had an...
Oh, shit! It just got... Oh, no. These niggas... What? No, they did not, bro. No way. Who died?
Enough evidence to agree. And Cynthia and her 23-year-old son, Sean, were found on July 18, 2018. Cynthia and her 23-year-old son,
that
Sean,
was who was calling about the missing money,
apartment.
Right?
Forensics went through Cynthia's call history and very quickly uncovered the situation with Amelia and the stolen money. They already had enough evidence to charge her with fraud and send her to jail, but they were far more interested in Josh, their prime suspect in the murders. They had an eyewitness account from a neighbor that placed someone matching his description at the scene, and they also discovered that he had recently purchased a gun from a pawn shop. But this wasn't enough to charge him with murder, which is why they needed a confession, and the primary objective was to obtain it from Amelia. Their interrogations began 9 days after the murders on July 26th. Josh was arrested at work, while Amelia was arrested at their home. She was brought in first at 11:30 a.m.
He's off now, or no?
Once the detective gets in here, take it. Shouldn't be that long.
Can I stand up at least, because I'm comfortable?
Just get out of it. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Chat, y'all think she knows about it? She got to, right? She has to know about it. There's no way she don't know about it, bro. You think she's a part of it?
Yeah, Amelia, you want to stand up? I'll get those off of you.
I think she got something to do with the murder.
We'll go with it,
Like,
okay?
driver or some shit.
Hey, they got those off you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, I brought you some water.
All right, Amelia. Obviously, you want to know what's going on, and we want to talk to you about some stuff. So, let me start at the beginning. I'm gonna record everything this way we don't miss anything. All right? All right.
Am I like getting arrested or something for something? Or
We'll explain it to
Yeah,
you.
we'll explain it all to you. Okay.
Ask
They
for a
collect Amelia's
lawyer,
basic
bro.
information, her home address and phone number.
All right, Amelia. We
They
gotta
gotta be
go
so
over these
dumb.
with you, okay? Because you were brought here, the way you were brought here. All right. I want to talk to you. There's always two sides to every story. You understand what I'm saying? And obviously, we have one side of a story right now, and that's why you're sitting here. So we want to get the other side of the story, okay? But for us to talk to you, I want to make sure I go over your rights with you, and you understand those rights, okay? And if you have any questions about any of these, you make sure you ask me, okay? All right. All right. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand? Is that yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any questions about that? No?
I'm
Okay.
just okay. I just normally when this starts is like someone getting in trouble or arrested or something.
Well, we just, like I said, we want to be able to talk to you, all right? And
Yeah,
this is the right way to
of
do that. And I'm sure there could be a very reasonable explanation as to why you're here, all right? But we have to talk to you about that, okay?
Okay.
It's like I said, we
Ask
only have
for
one
a
side of the story, and we
lawyer,
have one side,
bro.
We have to go on that until we have the other side of the story, okay?
Yeah.
But just because these are your rights, I want to make sure you understand them, okay? It's
Okay.
just for us to be able to talk to each other.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So how long have you lived at that house over there?
We moved in June, either June or July. We just purchased that home.
Okay.
He asks Amelia what she does for work. She clarifies that she works at Chase as a bank teller.
Okay, so you work for Chase. Okay. How long you work for Chase for?
December will be 3 years, I believe, or 4 years. I'm not too sure. After 4 years.
Any issues while you're working at
They're
Chase?
cooked, bro.
No, I got a write-up.
Her and
issue.
her boyfriend
Yeah.
What
cooked.
happened?
When was this in May?
Mhm.
I issued 2 checks for a customer, and
Mhm.
I got a write-up for that because they weren't in the branch.
Okay.
But other than that, I didn't.
All right. So, Amelia, I can tell you the reason why we're here today
Mhm.
is because of that issue with the bank.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Does that surprise you?
For this type of situation, yeah.
Okay.
Like this intense. I mean, I got in trouble at work, which makes sense, but I'm just confused about this.
Well, let's walk through it a little bit, okay? Let's walk through that and see how maybe we came here today, all right? And find out if this was just a misunderstanding or what, okay? So, what was the name of the customer?
Gerald.
Okay.
Mr. Gerald.
So what happened with this write-up? So, I mean, had you been a banker for him for a while? I mean,
Yeah, so I've been his banker since I moved here.
did you? Okay.
Since we moved here.
So what happened with these checks?
Nothing. He called him. I have the record over our global security.
Mm-hmm.
So when they came in, they pulled like call logs, they pulled like cameras, just to make sure like little signature files.
Amelia tries to use imprecise workplace terminology to confuse the detectives. She basically suggests that a security check has already been carried out by her bank,
Fortnite
finding
duos
no
in an
misconduct
hour.
or malpractice, which is incorrect. She could no longer deal with Gerald's account, and an internal investigation was still ongoing at the time of her arrest.
And that was it. I mean, that happened since March. That was
And when you talk to Gerald, I mean, how did he appear to you? Was he a young guy, old guy?
old.
Oh, well, how did he appear to you when you talked to him?
He's okay.
He was okay?
Yeah.
Did you ever have any issues when you talked to him about remembering things or anything like that?
No, he told me he had brain. Like I know like a little about himself. Like
Mhm.
he had brain surgery.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, he remembers things. I don't think he forgets really. He just
So he had you
Lying.
these 2 checks.
Lying.
Okay. How much were they worth?
25,000 each.
Lying.
What did he have you do? Like, what did he ask for?
Nothing. It's just he really put 2 checks and $25,000 each,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it.
She doesn't clarify where the money was sent, and seems to think that being ambiguous enough will prompt the detectives to move past it, which is obviously ridiculous. They will now initiate the first confrontation.
You've never been arrested before, is that correct?
No, sir.
You have a 7-year-old son, is that right? Okay. Let me explain something to you, Amelia. All right.
Hold up, chat. Hold up. Pause. All right, yeah. Okay. We're back. Log it. Log in.
We've talked to Gerald. Explain something to you, Amelia. All right. We've talked to Gerald. All right. Gerald can't barely tell you what day it is. Okay. So, and anybody who talks to him should know that. So if he asked you to do that, there's two things. There's two problems we have here, isn't there? Let's start talking. Let's agree with each other. There's two problems, don't you think?
Okay.
Over the next 8 minutes, Amelia confesses to the theft, but the Orange County Police have redacted the footage, albeit leaving 2 tiny segments.
Damn, they don't
seen
show
him?
it.
But it's not like I don't want to make it. Okay.
No.
I don't want to say I took advantage of him because he's a really nice guy.
The footage resumes shortly
But
after
you
the confession.
did, though.
What you need to know
Like, you
is the detective has
completely
just asked
did.
Amelia about her last correspondence with Cynthia, which is only for the purpose of shifting the focus of the interrogation onto her husband.
Last time, she was supposed to call me back last week, Friday, I believe. And I haven't heard from her since, so.
Okay. Does anybody else talk to Cindy? That you know? No?
Just me.
Okay. And, Josh,
Mhm.
did he ever talk to them?
No, he never spoke to me. He doesn't even know who they are.
What?
Okay. Would you have been at their house?
Him?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even know where they live. I don't even know where they live.
Lying.
It's possible Josh went over there and you didn't know?
I mean, how would he know where they live, though?
That's not the question I was asking. Is it possible that he went over there?
Not that I know, no.
So you can't say for sure he did or didn't?
I can say no,
How
To my
can you say
knowledge.
no?
because he doesn't know he doesn't know them.
Someone saw him over there, though.
Do you think it's unusual that Cindy hasn't called you since then? Do you think she just stopped?
Well, she had told me that she was going to reach back out to me Friday.
Mm-hmm. So today's Thursday. It's been almost a week. And she hasn't reached out to you at all. Have you reached out to her? How come?
I was going to call her, but she had told me that she was going to call me, but I told her that I was going on vacation.
The investigator will now bring the discussion to Josh's whereabouts last
She's a
Wednesday,
bad
the day
liar.
Sean and Cynthia were
I wonder
murdered.
if it's the fact
Did
that
you,
we kind of already know the truth, though.
Was there any night? I mean, does he normally go out with friends or anything like that?
We go out all the time, actually.
You guys go out. Did he go out without you at one point in time?
He went to Daytona.
What night?
To Daytona either Wednesday or Thursday.
The victims were murdered on the Wednesday in Orlando. Daytona is an hour's drive away.
Wednesday or Thursday.
He went to Daytona?
Yeah.
What did you go to Daytona for?
I don't know.
She asserts they got in a fight and he just left and turned his phone off the entire night.
And when was the last time before that you had a fight where you went to Daytona?
Maybe a couple weeks before that.
What's in Daytona that
And then
he
he
goes
went. He just went too. He went this week too again.
to? Where is he going in Daytona?
Let's get the phones. Let's get
She
the
asserts
phones.
that Josh left midday and returned at roughly 9 a.m. the next
Let's see
morning,
if he was
claiming
really
to have
out
been
there.
out with his friends. The second detective will now contribute and engage the suspect from a completely different angle.
You know, before we met today, we obviously researched some things, and your relationship with Matthew was abusive. Would you
What was
agree with
that?
that?
Yes, sir.
Matthew is Amelia's.
Let's be real, guys. In this day and age, bro, it's so hard to get away with crimes, murder. Just like it, bro. What? There's so many CCTV cameras, ring cameras, all them type shits, bro. Every street got cameras, so it's like, bro, like lying is just gonna make it worse, bro. It's just gonna make it worse, bro. Man, bro, stop doing crimes, bro. You gonna get caught eventually, and you gonna end up like her, having to just looking dumb. Just, hey man, just stream, play basketball, football, hockey, something like, bro.
Ex-boyfriend.
How's
You're
your
gonna
relationship
get
with
caught,
Josh?
bro. Eventually.
I mean, we fight a lot.
When was the last time?
Like nothing crazy. Like 2 weeks ago.
What happened 2 weeks ago?
he went through. I went out with a few friends, and I guess someone texted me, and he like flipped out.
Has his behavior changed recently?
Mm-mm.
No. Has he ever threatened to kill you?
Mm-mm.
That's crazy.
Have you ever seen any violent tendencies other than?
He gets really angry.
Okay.
He like yells.
What happens when he gets really angry?
I mean, he yells really loud. He like punches stuff like the wall.
Should I move this up?
So, yeah.
Are we safe to assume that Julian's the most important
Whoops.
person in your life?
Absolutely, 100%.
All right. Are you scared of Josh?
No.
If he did something wrong that put your son and your son's future and your future in jeopardy,
Should I
would you
go
tell
up
us
there and
about
chat?
it?
Of course.
Okay. But that's all I got, Pete.
There's a few more things. Like Detective Murray said, I think you're kind of at this crossroads right now, okay? You've got Josh, who you probably love, and he's your husband, okay? But you also have Julian. And you got to picture that little boy. You got to picture not being able to watch him grow up. Think about that for a second. Think about being put somewhere very far away from him, and the only way you're going to have contact with him is through letters. You're going to get pictures in jail, in prison, of your little boy growing up.
Damn, that's deep.
He's going to grow up with his grandparents, maybe? Who knows? Maybe Matthew's grandparents, maybe Matthew's parents, maybe somebody else will try and take him away from them. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. Nobody, we're not saying we're going to take your kids away from you, okay? So you got to start thinking long and hard who you have loyalty to. If Josh screwed up, he screwed up. That's not on you. But anything you know about that, we need to know about. He messed this up. He did this. He did this.
She's gonna snitch.
And I don't want to go in there and have him tell me that you told him to go do it. You understand this?
She for sure
This
gonna
whole thing.
snitch.
I'm
bro.
talking about everything.
As you may have noticed, the detectives haven't mentioned the murders yet. They've been keeping it as open as possible in the hope she will volunteer the element herself.
We can't do this anymore. Now's the time. Tell us what he did. So you can look at your son and say, I did the right thing in the end. What did he do?
Cause that means she knows it. Like she knows what happened.
We need to know.
I don't want to go to jail. I don't
Tell
want
us, listen.
But it's
have
too
to trust
late
us.
for all that, gang. It's too. Like, you should have thought about
I
that
don't wanna
before you
get in
did all
trouble
that.
for
We know
any
you
of
didn't do
this.
this. We know
I
you
don't want to
didn't.
get in trouble for.
You should have thought about that.
Nothing to do with
What did he
me.
do?
I don't know the severity of what he did.
And there we have it. What appeared to be the brink of a very compelling confession wasn't. Amelia remains obtuse while subtly trying to bargain for some type of clemency, and this repeats itself for the next 3.5 minutes until the lead detective decides that he's had enough. He will now reveal the extent of the investigation's evidence and get to the real reason why she's sitting in this interrogation room.
They're both dead.
What?
Yeah. They're dead. So now we really need to talk. Okay?
How did they die?
They were murdered.
Where?
But duh.
Listen. If there's anything that you know about this, okay? Now is the time, okay? Because let's listen to me.
It's getting heavy, chat. It's getting heavy.
They're all over their stuff talking to them. You took money from their father. This was not an amicable, let's talk about this.
No, of course, yeah. I don't. That. Whoa.
This is how you get in trouble for murder.
Me?
Yeah, let me explain it to you, okay? Let me explain it to you. This is how you get in trouble for it, okay? If we find out in any stretch of the imagination, in any way, shape, or form, that you're providing some type of alibi
What does that
to
mean?
Josh, that you're telling us he was somewhere where he wasn't, that you're lying to us about where he was, what you know, what you don't know, about the gun, about any of it. If we find that out, guess what you become?
Accessory.
I don't know.
You become a principal.
Oh.
Principal to homicide in the first degree.
I thought it was accessory
I
to
don't want to
murder.
go to jail. I didn't do anything. So, if whatever you guys need to know, I can tell you as
Yes,
much
we
as I
need to know. We need to know what Josh did. We need to know, and anything that you know about it, you need to tell us. Okay? You need to. This is the time, right now. All right? You got to understand that. Okay? What did he tell you?
Is she gonna snitch? Is she gonna snitch?
My biggest thing right now is I need to know that I'm going home.
This is one of the few things police
Bro.
can't actually lie about. They can't make promises with respect to sentencing in exchange for compliance, as this would render an interrogation inadmissible. They can divert and deflect from the element to avoid shutting it down altogether, but they absolutely must not substantiate it as a guarantee.
I need to know that I'm going to see my son. I need to know that I have no part of this whatsoever.
If you didn't know he was going to go over there and do that, then that's
I
fine.
have no...
Listen, you don't want me to go in there and him tell me, guess what? I went over there. She gave me the address. She told me to go over there and take care of the problem. Do you understand that? What if he says that?
I didn't do anything. I didn't even know
Right,
these people
so
would say- Oh
But
my
we don't
God.
know that, girl.
Listen, I was just going where she told me to go. All right? She told me this is all her idea. And again, this is where I'm saying, you got to wonder, if he's put his hands on you and if he's done things to you in the past, do you think he's got any loyalty to you whatsoever? Or do you think I have a problem putting you squarely in the middle of this?
I do not want to go to jail. I don't. Like, if I get fired, okay, let me get fired at work, but I don't want to go to jail.
We need to be able to go to them and say she's completely 100% honest and truthful with us. We didn't have to give her a polygraph. We didn't have to do any of that stuff because she told us everything, okay?
And then if I do tell you everything,
I'm not-
how am I promise I'm not going to go to
Well,
jail?
again,
Can't
we
promise
can't
you
make
that.
you promises, but what we can say is,
The investigator is clutching at straws trying to navigate this element, literally. He will now provide a very generic compromise,
Yeah,
which
he is,
Amelia will
bro.
immediately see through, and in exactly 2 seconds, she will shake her head, as if to say,
No deal.
what we can absolutely say is she was 100% truthful with us. She was remorseful. She didn't leave anything out. She told us. Now, Detective Mareshi and I are not going to sit here right now and say you're being 100% completely honest with us. There's stuff that's eating at you. It's bothering you, right? It's eating at you. There's things that you know that you want to get out, but you're just scared.
Yes, I'm scared.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's something we're going to have to work through, okay? But we can work through that stuff.
Amelia takes the advice and tries to work on her issues.
I want to know that I'm not going to go to jail. Like, that's what I want to know. I didn't do anything. I didn't conspire anything. My intention is not to hurt anybody.
Listen to me for
or-
just a second, because we can't promise you what's going to happen to you. But I could tell you well, the one thing I can guarantee you is, if you withhold this information, or if you lie about it,
You're gonna get
not
more
just going to
time.
go to jail. You're going to go to prison for a very, very
Which
long
I
time.
don't. I don't want to go to either or. I don't want to do either
Tell
or.
this man everything you know. Tell the truth, and it starts from there, Amelia.
Okay. When she had called me about the whole situation.
Here we go.
She repeats how her conversation
go.
went with Cynthia.
And then she told me on Friday that she
That
was
was the
going to
wrong
go
one.
into the branch.
That was the wrong one.
I told her if she wants to come, she can come and see me on Friday. And I haven't heard from her since.
She's still given the detectives absolutely nothing they can use, so they reinstate the pressure.
You don't want to be wrapped up in this. You don't, you didn't do this, okay? He's bringing this on you. You understand what I'm saying? He's bringing this on you. So I don't think there's a loyalty to him. I don't think you're worried about telling us what he did. I don't think that's that. Am I right in that? I mean, you're not worried about telling us what he did.
I don't care about him.
Right.
At
That's
this point,
okay. That's kind of where I'm at too.
At
I
this
think
point, I care about
you're in a
myself.
self-preservation mode. Okay.
Absolutely,
Right.
I'm not-
So
I don't-
understand something.
I don't want to go to jail.
You're gonna have a journey ahead of you.
Of
Okay.
course, of course.
And
Nah,
again,
this
it
is
starts here.
heavy,
It starts
bro.
now.
She about
and it
to-
starts with
you
how
think-
you
bro,
want to
she
see this
even-
journey through. Okay. You did some wrong
She
stuff.
taking so
You
long to
understand?
snitch, bro. Just get it
I'm not gonna
out.
crucify you for that. Okay. You're a young woman. You're a smart woman.
Just get it out
I
already.
think you're in a volatile relationship with somebody who treats you very
You
badly.
seem ready to
I think you're in a
snitch. Just
relationship
get
where
it done
he
with.
manipulates you. It sounds like he puts his hands on you. You're in a bad spot. You have your child.
Amelia starts giving away more information, starting from the morning after the victims were killed.
When he got home the next day, he came home like around 9 o'clock. My mom was with me on the side of my house, and we were trying to figure out like where was he, what was he doing. He was nervous when he got home.
Okay.
He was really nervous.
And that's the extent of what she says. She acts like she's beginning to cooperate, then just doesn't, and it's become a pattern at this point.
Are you telling us the truth that when you walked in this room, you had no idea those two people were dead?
No, I had no clue.
Okay.
I just want to know. I want to go home.
You think that's
what I
facts?
wanna do is I wanna
I feel
go
like she
home.
kind of capping, bro.
And so then Wednesday,
'Cause she
after
stayed
he
lying.
got Julian off, was he going to? Did
She
he go to
hasn't
work
said
on
the
Wednesday?
truth about
I believe
nothing.
So, yes.
Okay.
Right.
Did you work that day?
I did. I worked all week. I didn't call out until today. Today's my first day I called out
Okay.
for this month.
Well, Josh is here. Okay, and you're at least gonna have to stay here till we're done talking with him.
Of course.
Okay. Do you want anything to eat? We got a snack bar down here.
What is Josh finna say?
If you do, just knock on the door. Okay.
Can I use the restroom?
Bathroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get somebody. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I done or?
well, we have some more talking to do.
48 hours, 28 hours, that concludes this interview.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Will I be able to go home later today or no?
We're gonna have to see. We're interested in seeing what Josh says.
Do I just sit in here?
Yeah. Like, so we'll get somebody to take you to the bathroom, and like after that, in the meantime, just knock on the door.
This is obviously not the last you'll see of Amelia, and you're now about to see the opening phase of her husband's interrogation, who unbeknownst to her had been waiting in the room directly adjacent for just over 2 hours. The detectives will enter his room 18 minutes after they left Amelia's.
It's getting heavy.
Hey, how you doing? Josh?
Oh, yeah.
Cold?
It is cold in
Well, that
here.
water's a little warm, so that might warm you up a little bit.
Geez. Yeah, it's cold.
All right, Josh. Well, we can explain to you what's going on. Obviously, I'm sure you want to know. Get a couple things we need to go over first before we do that. So you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to talk to me?
No.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. Let me ask you this question. I'm going to throw this out to you. Why do you think you're sitting here right now?
I honestly have no idea.
No idea.
No idea.
Okay.
Honestly, huh? Honestly?
Have you? Let me get this right.
Honestly?
What was the last bank account that you opened?
This is an indirect confrontation about the theft. The context is that he recently opened an account for Amelia's son Julian at Bank of America, which is where they hid the 50 grand.
Bank of America.
Okay. In whose name?
In my name and Julian's name.
Okay. Tell me about that.
He explains the process of opening an account for a minor at Bank of America. He mentions nothing of the stolen money and continues to act oblivious. The investigator doesn't confront him. He instead sharply switches the discourse to a more threatening element. You'll notice this interrogation moves at a much faster pace than the one you just saw.
Do you want a firearm?
I did. I actually bought one last week, Monday.
The detectives already knew this, so he does the smart thing and volunteers the information, but also feels the need to immediately clarify how there is no possible way for that gun to have been involved in any shady activity since its purchase. So Josh's explanation is that he drove halfway up a bridge while he was in Daytona and threw it off.
And you threw it off the overpass?
Yeah.
Was it all in one piece?
Yeah. All in one piece.
What caliber is that gun?
I think it was a 9mm.
What kind of ammunition did you put in it?
I didn't have any ammunition inside of it.
You didn't have any ammunition inside of it?
No.
Did you buy ammunition for it when you bought it?
No.
You think he's capping?
Okay. Well, I just get a little confused. So, explain to me your reasoning again as to why you threw this gun off this pier.
I had a real, I guess a relapse of what happened to me.
What Josh meant to say here is that he had a flashback, and what he's talking about is the fact that he accidentally shot himself in the leg with his own gun while getting out of the car to go bowling. And now everyone calls him Cheddar Bob, the fictional character in the 8 Mile movie who also accidentally shot himself in the leg with his own gun.
And I was like, some shit happens again by accident.
I guess that's where I get a little concerned. Well, my thing is, you guys are kind of hurting for money.
Cheddar Bob is crazy.
Yeah, I'm working out, so things
So
are...
you spent $250 in cash on this gun.
Yeah.
That's a bad nickname
It's
to
pawn
give,
shop.
bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's so
Pawn
bad.
shops are pretty good. I mean, usually you can go back and pawn it
Yeah,
back,
but
right?
I was like, at that very moment, I was like, anything could fucking happen, and I'm like,
But it's not loaded.
it wasn't like, yeah.
So right now you got basically a paperweight.
Yeah.
So it's not dangerous to you at that point in time.
Mm-hmm. But for me, mentality-wise, I wasn't thinking like that. I just threw it.
Josh, listen.
Mm-hmm.
We're here for something very, very serious, okay?
Okay.
Let's walk through this a little bit, okay?
Mhm.
What are we missing?
Nothing that I know of. I mean, told you guys where I was, what I was doing. I mean, you could check our phone records too. We've been fighting for a long time.
Well,
The reason he gave for being in Daytona was because he was fighting with Amelia, which is what he just referred to. But of much greater interest and perceptibly out of nowhere, the detective will now initiate the confrontation.
explain this to me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
How is it that you wound up at Cynthia's house, Cynthia's apartment over on Jefferson? Because I have eyewitnesses that put you there.
I was never at her place.
Okay. All right.
Notice how he didn't inquire into who Cynthia is or why she was even brought up in the discussion. He just immediately denies the very sudden and seemingly random allegation. But more to the purpose, you'll have noticed how the detective hasn't outright accused him of murder, only placed him at the scene. This is because he's about to provide Josh with an escape route, a morally acceptable explanation as to why he would be there. He's basically trying to get one foot in the door and attain the first level of admission.
Listen to me. You were there. Well, I need to know why you were there. You understand what I'm saying? If there's some innocent reason, I need to know.
Craziest thing is, this all could have been avoided. This whole video could have been avoided if somebody would have just asked for a lawyer.
I need to know why. So
Crazy.
Why did you go there? Did you go there to tell them that you were going to pay him back?
This is the face of someone falling for the oldest trick in the book, on the very first attempt. You're about to see him seize what he believes to be the unique opportunity to save himself, at the expense of his wife.
Okay. Can we clear this whole thing out?
What's up?
Okay. So,
Oh.
Amelia was freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. I did chuck my gun over the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Okay.
The next 2 minutes of footage has also been cut out. What you need to know is that Josh has now conceded to knowing about the fraud, and that he did in fact go over to Cynthia's house on the day in question, but only to let her know they would be paying her back, which you might recall was the exact reason afforded to him by the detective. The rest of what he spoke on will now be relayed back to him.
If I'm understanding you right, you're saying Amelia is the one that talked to somebody to take care of them?
Yeah, and I don't.
Why?
I have no idea.
Well, I mean, how do you know that?
Well, there was a kid that came to our house.
What's his name?
Jay something. I don't know his phone. I've seen him once at my house.
So Amelia's so scared about this and worried about this, and you explain to me. So who kept on calling her and wouldn't leave her alone?
I think it was the same Cynthia lady. I didn't ask any questions. She said, "Oh, somebody keeps calling me." She said one of Gerald's families. I said, "Okay, that's fine." Then some kid came up to her house like 11 o'clock at night.
She gave him $10,000 to what?
I have no idea. And from my understanding,
What do you think she gave him $10,000 for?
to kill him or something. I don't know. I have no idea.
When did you find out about this? Before?
Yeah.
Unlucky Josh, wrong answer. You just told on yourself in your own made-up story, and you're going to jail no matter what. But the detectives really won't care about this, because they want to send him to jail forever, not just a few years.
I think it was Saturday or Sunday.
The Saturday or Sunday before you went over there on Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
Josh's imagination goes on for another 6 minutes. The detective doesn't even bother following up with questions. He just goes straight back to confrontation.
If it's something that got out of hand versus something that you planned, that's a whole different ballgame. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If you plan this out, that's a bad thing. But if it got out of hand, if you went back just to try and talk, and it got out of hand, that's a whole different ballgame. You understand what I mean? Okay? That changes everything. But I don't know that until I hear it from you.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, this all I know is what we have.
The detective will now accelerate the pressure over the next 43 seconds. You will notice he is very good at conveying tone. It's not just what he says, but the way he says it. And you're about to see this have an effect on the suspect.
Let's see it.
Like I said, this isn't going to go away. And this is going to be something that's going to eat at you. It's going to eat at you until we get it out. I'll tell you right now, let's not go back. We're going to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Now's your time to say, you know what, this got out of hand. I'm sorry. You understand what I'm saying? Remorse goes a long, long way.
What is he gonna say about his girlfriend?
Right. You know, what happened? Let's work through this.
I forgot her name.
I just don't want to get nobody else in trouble.
Okay.
What Josh means here is that he doesn't want to get anybody else in trouble other than his wife, and he very much associates himself with the category of anybody else. He still really doesn't want to get into trouble. All that's happened here is the detective was applying an effective variation of pressure, and the suspect crumbled like a deck chair, well and truly folded like an overcooked noodle. And he now feels like he has to act like a good person, so he starts providing details with a profound demeanor as if he's unveiling something significant. But you'll notice that nothing changes with regard to his culpability, and his intention of implicating Amelia to save himself has not changed in the slightest.
That's not gonna be shooting.
I mean, if you love Amelia, listen, if you love Amelia, you're going to put her under the bus? You don't want to do that, do you?
I'm just scared for everybody
I
else.
know you're scared. I know you're scared.
I didn't tell the woman.
Okay, tell me.
Lied.
I left there at maybe 10 something.
Mm-hmm.
But before I left,
Mm-hmm.
the same guy that Amelia, I guess Amelia paid him. The same guy came up to my car.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I wanted to talk to her to get the money back." And he was like, "Oh, Amelia, or Jay sent me here." I'm like, "Sent you here for what?" And he was like, he had a gun to my head. And he said, he said, "I know you have a gun. Give me your gun and leave." I left and went to Alchemy. Didn't throw the gun over the pier. He had the gun. I went back to Alchemy. I drove to Daytona. Came back home at like 5:30 in the morning. And that was it.
Josh,
Terrible liar.
why did you put a gun in your head and take your gun?
I don't know. All I know is Amelia paid them $10,000.
To put a gun to your head and take your gun?
I don't know why she paid them.
Josh, you know you're making this hole that much bigger. You know that. That doesn't make any sense to anybody.
Stop
Hey.
lying, bro.
No. I mean, how would these people know where to find you, and then all of a sudden they found you and took your gun? To do what? To frame you? You know who throws a gun over a bridge? And that's what I really think happened to this thing. That you threw the gun over the bridge. We know you went to Daytona because we got the receipt and everything else that you went to Daytona. We know you got gas over there. All right? What makes more sense is, well, I mean, you threw a gun because you used it.
No.
Yes. Josh, when people come
Definitely.
in here and tell us, oh, I was driving around for a while and I can't remember where I went, or I don't, that we know, I know exactly what's going on there, okay? And for you not to tell us that you went to that apartment, there's a reason why, all right? So again, this is not to figure out who, it's to figure out why. And this is your time. This is you. This is you.
We've talked to Amelia already.
The suspect is sticking to his new storyline, so just like with Amelia, the second detective will engage him from a different angle.
And we asked her, who's the most important person in Josh's life? And she said, I would assume it's me. And I said, he's not going to do or say anything that's going to jeopardize your future, right? And she goes, I wouldn't think so. So when I asked Amelia who's the most important person in her life, what do you think she said?
Her.
Me?
Yeah. And
We presume this falsehood was
Yeah.
intended to evoke a sense of empathy from Josh towards his wife, perhaps with the hope that it would motivate him to protect her, and as a result start being honest. But all it seems to do is bolster his confidence in his new fantasy novel.
you're over here saying that she paid somebody to kill these people.
Yes.
So my thing is that
I'll tell you right now, straight up. I was there. My gun was taken from me by some black guy that said he knows Jay. Amelia gave him $10,000.
one of you is a really awful person. Someone is letting their spouse go to prison for the rest of their life for something that they did. Is it you or her?
I didn't. I don't have a bone in me to kill anybody.
Okay.
So, I'm trying to figure out how they took the gun from you. Explain that.
Shit,
Walk
they
me through
probably
that.
both
I was
did
sitting
it.
in my car
Where?
in front of their apartment.
What time?
This was 10 something,
Before,
Excuse me.
okay.
and they said they were sitting there around the corner since
Who
God
said
knows
that?
how- the same guy.
How did you know that?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
What do you mean? How do I?
Well, they said they were sitting around the corner. How did you know that?
He told me, he's like, "We were watching you. We see you talking to this lady. What's going on? Did you tell her that Jay? You spoke to Jay?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, I came to talk to this lady to try to resolve an issue." And he put a gun to my head and he said, "I know you have a gun on me." I don't know how he knew I had a gun on me
Mm-hmm.
in the first place. He took my gun and he said, leave.
What did that guy look like?
Probably 6'5".
That's a rather unambiguous height for a professional hitman.
Bro,
You would think
what?
they would sort of need to blend in, but that's probably why his rates were so cheap.
Bald black guy. All
Not
black clothes.
like African American?
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, if I may, you know what I see? I see somebody who's trying to explain the disappearance of a gun, and see, the only reason we would explain the disappearance of a gun is because it was used in something. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
Josh,
I'm telling
no,
you.
listen, hold on a second. Why on earth would this guy need to come up to you? Okay? First of all,
It's the same
no,
guy.
listen, you want to say that they happen to be there at the same time you were now. Okay? They just happened to be there at the same time you were, and he happened to know that you had a gun, and he happened to put a gun to your head and take your gun away from you. That's what you want people to believe. Does that, I mean, just listening
Bro,
to
that
it
sounds
said by somebody else, does that make a
crazy.
lot of sense to you? Why does he need your
It
gun?
makes
Why?
no sense,
I
bro.
don't know. All I know is
He had a gun.
I went there at between 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish. Talked to her.
Mm-hmm.
I come out. I go and sit in my car. I'm vaping. I have my window down.
And a very tall black guy takes his gun at gunpoint, while being courteous enough to provide a thorough explanation of why he's doing so. You've heard it before, as have the investigators, so they close out the initial phase of Josh's interrogation.
All right, we'll be back in just a minute then. We're gonna go talk to her some more then.
Time is now approximately
Get
16:30
a
hours.
blanket or something.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think my one partner tried to find you one.
It's cold.
We now have to go back an hour and 40 minutes to begin Amelia's Phase 2, where Phase 1 left off.
Okay, so if you remember something, we'll listen.
And she was just sitting there that whole time. Getting snitched on. Oh my gosh.
40 minutes go by with Amelia fidgeting with her nails,
Talking about
attempting to
she
sleep
paying-
and pacing back and
I
forth
don't
in the
know.
room. She then knocks on the door.
Bro, who did it?
The officer who made her arrest will now answer. It's apparent that he's built some level of trust with the suspect.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, is the two detectives there?
They're busy right now. I can relay something to them, but it may be a little bit. What do you need?
Oh no, it's fine. I'll let it go.
Okay. You want to talk to them though?
I'm cold and I just want to talk to them.
Okay. I will look for a blanket for you, and then I can't help you to talk until they're done. But I'll let me go get you a blanket. Okay?
Okay.
It's too long. I know you're cold.
Thank you.
Hey, you need to talk to them. You need to get out from underneath this big time. Did I tell you who they work for?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're homicide detectives. So,
I know.
and they want you to be a witness, not a suspect.
Okay.
So the only way it's gonna happen is you gotta talk to them.
That's why I want to talk to them because I just don't want to be involved in any of this. Like,
Okay.
I don't want any part of this. I want to be able to go home.
Okay.
This-
Do you know what happened?
I do.
What happened?
Well, it's about this whole check situation.
Well, we're not talking about the check situation.
Ooh, I smell
We're talking about the
food.
homicide sub part.
Mhm.
What do you know?
My husband called these people. He pretended he was somebody else. He got their address and he went over there. All he kept saying to me is, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it.
What did he tell you afterwards?
When he got home, he didn't really speak to me.
Okay, but eventually he told you what happened.
No, he didn't tell me that he killed anybody.
Where's the gun?
He got rid of it.
Where?
Daytona.
How do you know?
He told me.
Okay, so he tells you he's getting rid of a gun.
Is
but
she
he didn't
telling the
tell you.
truth right now?
Did he tell you he murdered someone? See, that's the part you can't hold back.
I think she's telling the truth right now.
Sweetie, I'm being honest with you. I have no.
If I say all of these things, will I get in trouble?
If you don't say any of these things, you're definitely gonna get in trouble.
Because we're still going to
He didn't
figure
tell
out.
me to kill them. He said I handled the situation. It was
Did he describe how, what?
he never physically said like what he did or if anything was done.
Did he say he shot him?
Well, I'm guessing he had his gun, so
Don't guess. Did he tell you that he shot him?
yes.
He said he shot him. Where did he go?
Daytona.
Oh, I don't know. He didn't say anything.
But
about
he
it.
said he shot him. Okay,
And
and
then
then
he-
after. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He told me if I say anything that he'll kill me too.
And this is after he knew
Okay.
he shot him.
No.
I think
Okay,
she's
well, you don't
lying.
gotta worry about that. About him trying to hurt you, because he's
Fuck,
never
bro.
gonna see
Who
the light
did
of day
it?
again.
Okay.
But you, when they come back in here, sweetie, everything. Okay.
I
Alright.
just don't want anyone to think that I didn't know that it was gonna I didn't know
Look,
that this was gonna
look.
happen. Why would he do something like It's just like, why would you do something so stupid? And it's just too.
I don't
innocent
think that it
people.
was just him.
Like, it's just like, why?
Don't worry about it. Listen, I'm gonna get them. They're talking to someone right now. But I'm gonna have them come here and talk to you, okay?
And then put me in the middle of this. The child.
I know. Don't worry. I'll be back in a minute, okay?
The detectives re-enter Amelia's room an hour later. It's been 12 minutes since they finished the first phase of Josh's interrogation.
Hey.
All right, we'll see.
Okay. Got your blanket, huh? Okay, so Amelia, now, we were talking a little bit more. Josh told you, I guess apparently when we first, you said he took care of business when he got home that day, okay?
Yes.
There's more information, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
She repeats what she told the arresting officer. The second detective will now clarify that Josh's main accusations are false.
So as we sit here right now,
Yes.
Josh telling us that you paid Jay Prasad to kill these people, that's a lie.
That's a lie.
And that's all they need from suspect number 1.
God, this is insane.
I would agree with you.
Yeah. All right, Amelia. The time is now approximately 17:37 hours. That concludes this interview.
I just don't understand why I'm like.
I think we've tried to explain it to you.
I understand that, but I don't want to go to prison for something I didn't do. For something I didn't have a part of. For something that I didn't.
Amelia.
You did,
Trying
though.
to figure that out.
I just wish you would tell the truth.
Oh. You and me both.
The detectives re-enter Josh's room 14 minutes later at 5:52 p.m. The other narrator will now be taking you through the second phase
Another
of his interrogation.
narrator.
Better?
Putting everything else aside, just imagine being Josh right now. One moment you're in dreamland, and the next you're jolted back into interrogation room reality, being asked if the blanket is helping with the...
JCS. What the... Nigga, is this nigga using AI? Is JCS using AI now? Come on, bro. No.
Cold by the guy
We got
who's
10
controlling
minutes
the
left,
thermostat.
bro.
Yeah.
Don't
Obviously,
do
we're following up
that.
with you because, you know, we went back and talked to Amelia. And, you know, again, we're just trying to understand. She's saying one thing, you're saying another, and we think probably the truth's somewhere in the middle. You understand what we're saying?
Yeah.
Y'all both got
I
some.
probably asked you this already, Josh, but when did you hear about this murder, about these people being killed?
Maybe I think Wednesday. Not even. I didn't even really. Probably Thursday.
Okay, did you see their pictures or figure out who they were?
I saw the pictures and I was like, holy shit.
And what did you think?
I was like, what the hell is going on?
Okay, did you ask your wife about what happened?
I didn't ask her anything.
Why not? I mean, to me, that would seem like a natural thing.
For me, well, I asked her, hey, did you talk to Cynthia? And she didn't answer me.
Did you ever tell your wife that you killed these two people, and if she said anything, you would kill her
No.
and her whole family?
No. Never would have said that.
Have you told us the truth today?
Yeah.
Okay. You initially lied about the gun.
I'll say that on recording. I'm scared as shit. I lied about the gun, but from when I left the house at about 3:30, somewhere around there, I got to Cynthia's house, knocked on the door. Sean answered the door, and I sat and talked with both of them like they were family to me.
Okay.
But after I got done talking to them around 11 o'clock, I got in my car, sat down. I was vaping in my car. The last apartment's here.
Right.
There's a dumpster here.
Yeah.
I was sitting in my car
Bro,
here
who's
vaping.
telling
vaping
the
from this way.
truth?
Literally, like, I don't know where blindside, because there was a white car parked next to me.
Right. Why did you decide to sit there and vape?
I was trying to get a hold of Amelia. And that's when he came up to my car and was like, yo, give me your piece. He saw my gun in the center console. And I froze. I couldn't move. I was like, listen. I was like, don't. He was like, oh, give me your piece.
Would you have expected your wife to say that you did this if you didn't do it? Are things that bad?
I mean, she said I forced her to get married. So,
But I mean, she's basically sending you to prison for the rest of your life.
I would never expect that from her at all.
You gotta understand something here, okay?
Okay.
If you care about Julian at all, do you really care about that kid?
Yeah, I do. I love him like
Okay,
he's my own
so let's
son.
talk about the only innocent person in this whole thing, amongst you guys,
Correct.
is Julian.
Yes.
This little 7-year-old boy that you take to school every day,
Mhm.
that you love like your own. You're willing to see his mother go to jail for the rest of her life.
That's insane.
Is what you're telling me.
That's crazy.
Because you're basically saying that she paid this guy Jay to go kill her and the grandson. Fine. If that's the way you want to go, then guess what? When she gets in trouble for it, she's going away. Then Julian grows up without a mother, okay? Now, I don't know about that, but to me, if that's not the case, that's a really shitty thing to do.
I understand that.
And you're going to have to, well, okay.
And that's why I'm telling you now, that if that's what it has to be, because for me, all I know is she gave Jay the money.
And you're saying these two people are dead because of
Nah, this nigga is a
And I don't know if
disgusting
that's the
ass
reason
man.
why. All I know is
How could
Amelia
you say
came.
you don't know
I
that's the
was
reason why?
sitting. I remember this day. I was sitting on the toilet. She
I
said,
don't want to hear about you
"I'm
sitting
gonna
on the
talk.
toilet.
I'm gonna talk to Jay."
Right.
Sitting on the
She
toilet.
said, "We've been watching you."
Sitting
So
on
we're
the toilet.
here. And I said,
Sitting on the
Okay.
toilet.
Fuck.
Sitting on the
So
toilet.
let you-
I was vaping in this hand, and I was vaping, and all I felt was something pressed against my head. I put my vape down, grabbed my gun, and I gave it to him.
He rambles for another minute before the detective sharply cuts him off and accelerates the pressure.
Josh, it's just going to keep compounding, Josh. Compounding and compounding, and it's not going away. And I've told you from the beginning, if this is something that happened that got out of control, then we can understand it, and that works. You got your back up against the wall.
If I tell you the truth, will Amelia get in trouble?
Huh?
If I tell you the truth, will Amelia get in trouble?
No, if you tell us the truth, no.
I don't want anything to happen to her or
Okay,
Julian.
we need this.
So just like in phase
So
one,
what?
he's about to...
Shut up. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Why the fuck would you spend 2 hours lying on her name, bro? Just to come to the conclusion that you don't want her to get in trouble. Like, what the fuck, bro?
to alter a minor detail in the narrative that changes absolutely nothing. But you have to appreciate his acting chops. Just get a load of this theatrical exhale in about 3 seconds.
She needs this. Julian needs this. What happened?
That Thursday night, she told me she's gonna call Jay
Uh-huh.
and have him take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to get her. I don't want her to get in trouble for this. I'll take them. Whatever it is you have to give to her, I'll take it.
What?
I'll take it.
Josh.
Jeff, what you just said is really no different from what you've been telling us
No.
all day. I mean,
No.
it's
At
Let's
all.
stack this
What
all
the
up, okay? Your gun's gone. We don't know who took it. It just happens to be gone. The brand new gun that you bought. And you sat here for, 15 minutes telling us why you threw it over a bridge.
Josh looks pretty sad that his last piece of admission didn't have any effect. In about 30 seconds, he's going to try again, but up the intensity.
All right? Every time I keep pointing out something to you that just doesn't make sense, it keeps, you keep flipping it. You keep changing it, okay? That doesn't look good, all right?
Bro, just tell him what you did, bro.
Who killed these people?
Me?
It had to have been Jay's people.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Is Jay that big of a guy? Does he have that kind of people?
He said he knows people.
What did he say? Let's talk about the conversation you had with him about what he was going to do.
It's kind of like he's auditioning for the next Star Wars movie, and he's about to rehearse the most breathtaking fucking paragraph in the history of the franchise.
That night, Amelia came back in the house.
The additional piece of detail he provides is that Jay originally asked Amelia for 25 grand, not 10.
So why would you say this before? I didn't want her, so she won't get in trouble if I tell you this. Why did you say that?
I don't want her to get in trouble for this.
Well, then tell us the truth. How about that?
That is the truth.
No. Everything we've talked about, why now? All of a sudden, the gun going off the bridge, all these different things have not been the truth. Now all of a sudden you are telling us the truth. Why is that?
I just want to make things right.
No, I don't think you do.
At all.
Josh, I think he shot and killed these people.
Yeah.
Facts.
You have a big decision to make. You've already messed up as much as, and then you're going to let her go down. You really want to take her down with you? What do you have to gain? What are you going to get from taking her down with you? What? What is there to gain?
Nothing.
Nothing.
you have an absolute motive too to have these people killed. You know, all those things add up to a circumstantial case for first-degree murder. And your answer to it is, this is her. She's driving this boat.
Cap.
She is.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I hate to say it, but she is.
No, she's not. No, she's not.
You know, again, like we said, one way or another, you got a lot to deal with. Your story just doesn't make any sense.
Bro, in the comments, do you think it's her or him? Or both of them?
Again, to take Amelia down, I guess I'm kind of...
I feel like it's kind of both of them.
Selfish. My thing is, we've been together for 7 years, and I've done the world and back with this girl regarding her son, herself, with her baby daddy problems, and...
She says you're abusive, mentally and physically. So that's the picture that she's painting of you.
Did she say that?
And that's not me. I mean, that blows my mind.
No.
Doesn't sound like...
Both of what you said today
like
blows my mind. I mean, there's just a lot of problems. A lot of problems. So we'll just have to see how it pans out.
What time is it now?
It's about 7 o'clock, Josh.
I would never expect her to say that about me. That's crazy.
We surprise ourselves sometimes.
Bro, I could never see myself like in here, bro. Sitting for hours, bro. Bro,
There's something poetic about a husband and wife spending their last several hours of freedom sitting just inches apart from each other, yet completely separated by a wall, betrayal, and the desperate need to save their own ass. Amelia cooperated with the police from this point forward and was sentenced to 3 years. The murder charges were dropped and she was only charged for the theft. Josh was taken into custody, where he was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and denied bond. He would see his wife again 3 years later at his trial, where she testified against him. It took just 10 days for him to be...
Oh, I gotta chill. But damn, bro. Let me get up. She testified against him in
found
court
guilty, and he was
in front of
sentenced to
him.
life
Oh
in
my
prison without the possibility of parole.